Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Ring Report. AEW presented a match that many people saw coming, blood and guts. Yes, blood and guts. The Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. Which team was going to emerge victorious in this war game style match and AEW blood and guts? Will the Pinnacle emerge victorious as they've been talking and bragging for weeks, or will the Inner Circle be the one to shut down the Pinnacle? All that. Plus, we'll have more matches as well as a huge. We found out that this too, Miro wants a shot at the championship, but which championship he wants to go for, we'll tell you that later on. And is this going to happen? Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy? It's a possibility. We can get to it. And also, Cody Rhodes was in action when he took on his former partner and best friend, QT Marshall. But Anthony Ogogo did some damage and left the Union Jack flag. What's going on with that? And on Hot Topics, we get to right here, this touch and follow right here, hallmark moment right here. Ric Flair visiting his former Four Horsemen teammate Steve Mongo McMichael after Mongo announced last week that he was battling with MS, Lou Gehrig's disease. And we'll have much more. All this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show starts for predicted for AEW Ring Report after this. Predict the AEW Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing as we talk about the AEW Ring Report, the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. Also, we'll get to hot topics later on in the show. But let's get to the AEW Ring Report. With AEW tonight, AEW Show Preview of this. What the still their version of Steel Cage War Games version, as you see right here, the steel structure, reminiscent of War Games. If you remember War Games way back in the mid '80s when it was under the NWA banner, as you see right here, setting up what looks like a War Game style match. Now, this was originally supposed to be scheduled sometime last year between the Elite versus the Inner Circle. That didn't come to fruition due to the pandemic, but they made up for it for tonight, where the Inner Circle will go one on one to go against the Pinnacle, the newly minted Pinnacle. Pinnacle, captained by MJF, led, joining with captained by MJF and Chris Jericho, and joining them would be FTR, Santana, and Ortiz, Warlow, Jake Hager, Sam Guevara, and Sean Spears with Total Blanchard at ringside did this match. Like I said, this was the match that everyone was in see. It was the main event. We'll get to it later on in the show. But we kick things off with this right here, the Young Bucks. They came out there looking like fashion mavens. I don't know what's going on. I think someone tweeted, Matt, our Hawaiian vacation is not a couple more months. I guess his wife let the cat out of the bag. The vacation wasn't coming in soon, but the Young Bucks wanted to showcase that they were going on vacation to Hawaii. Yes, they brought Hawaii to Jacksonville already. So we found out a lot too on the road to Double or Nothing. The third annual Double or Nothing. As you see right here, we got Jericho, we got MJF, we got Pac, we got Cody, AEW World Champion Kenny Omega, Sting, Darby Allin, Cage, Heyman Page, a whole bunch of people, a whole list of people in the Double or Nothing promotional package. Um, I think they had Michael Nakazara and Ken Omega was in tag action, and they went against Moxley and what that dude name? Forgot that dude name. Kingston. And I think that's when the Young Bucks came out there. So look for the Young Bucks to be challenged by Kingston and Moxley for the World Tag Team titles heading forward. Also, Cody was in action. He went against his former mentor, former tag partner, QT Marshall, with QT and Cody having a good series of matches. But Cody won the match. After the match, Anthony Ogogo came out there and gut punched Cody and put the Union Jack flag under Cody. I know Cody probably felt embarrassed, and we heard last week that Cody Rhodes will make an announcement on his Double or Nothing opponent, and he's likely going to be Anthony Ogogo. Mr. Anthony Ogogo, professional boxer, and his hands are lethal weapons. So look for Ogogo and Cody to meet one on one at Double or Nothing. Also, Kenny Omega was the AEW World Champion, the Impact World Champion. Kenny Omega, the belt collector. Now contenders are coming through for his championship. Now we heard this past week Andrade wants the Mexican AEW Championship. We heard Impact is doing a tournament to crown a number one contender to go against Omega for their shows. And now AEW is doing the same. AEW setting up a match between Orange Cassidy versus Pac. The winner meets Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing. So it's going to be a busy month for Kenny Omega, knowing that he got 3 challengers awaiting him for 3 separate title defenses. And for the AEW crown, you see Orange Cassidy wants that title. Orange Cassidy looked at cool as a cucumber. He wants the shot at the title. Kenny Omega trying to underestimate Orange Cassidy as his challenger, as number one contender for this AEW title. Like I said, I could see Omega and Cassidy. That could be a match, for the show, for the pay-per-view. But what about Pac? Pac has a right too. And it's likely going to be a precursor, thinking that it's going to be Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy probably with the fans. Orange Cassidy is going to get the shot at the number one contendership. He might do it, and this is a prequel of what we could see at Double or Nothing between Omega and Orange Cassidy. So look for that. Also, the best man, Miro. Miro been claiming for weeks now that he is going to challenge a champion. Now we know that he said champion AEW, and it was obvious Miro was going to challenge Darby Allin. Darby Allin has been on a roll as the past week as TNT champion for the past month, defending challenges against challenges such as Matt Hardy, challenges such as I can't think of other folks. He's been Jungle Boy, a whole list of others. But Darby Allin has been a fighting champion, and Darby Allin was kind of injured this week when he had what's his name, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky had threw Darby through the steel railing, injuring Darby, and I think that was an injury bump to me. Now Darby's injured, and Miro is asking Pickens. He's going for the Pickens. Miro saying that he issued the challenge that he wants Darby Allin at one worst way of form. So Miro will get his shot at the TNT Championship next week. Look for Miro probably to win the TNT title due to Darby Allin's injury at the hands of Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page. I think Miro should be a champion.
Should not go for the world title. The TNT title fits him and stuff. And then if Miro wanted to go for the tag team titles, he'll do so as well. But I think the TNT title was a great fit for Miro going forward. So look for that. And the main event, finally, the main event. As you see right here, this is the preparations for the Blood and Guts. As you see, I don't know if they're practicing it. I don't know for sure. I'm thinking they was practicing throughout the whole day to make sure the match turned out real well. And it did. It lived up to its expectations. It really did. It reminds you of old school war games match where the NWA way back in the mid '80s with the Four Horsemen and Dusty Rhodes team, America's team, and the structure of it looks phenomenal. Looks like it's been prepped, it's been ready. They're ready to go. You see right here, having in the amphitheater in the cage match was looking sensational. You see right here, Chris Jericho, along with his squad, the Inner Circle, consists of Santana Ortiz, Samuel Guevara, and Jake Hager, the Muscle. It was intense. It was awesome. It led to the expectations, and then the whole entire match was that Guevara started, and he went against I think one of those members of FTR, I think Hardwood, and they just battled, and then it kept going. Sean Spears came in. After Sean Spears, Ortiz came in. Then after Ortiz, Dawson. Then after Dawson was what's his name? Jake Hager. No, Santana. It just was brutal. Jericho came in last. MJF came in. It was a brutal match. It was everything that I imagined. It was a phenomenal match. You know, they just taking it to the win. As you see right here, they're battling inside the cage. You see MJF on top of the cage. But the ending of the match was that MJF and Jericho fight through on top of the cage. You see right here, they fall on top of the cage. Jericho doing the walls of Jericho, trying to make MJF tap out. MJF found a way of escape by low blowing Jericho. Jericho got caught into MJF's armbar submission hold. Jericho didn't want to tap out. Next thing you know, MJF in the bloody crimson mask, all of them were looking bloody. We thought the Inner Circle had the win before this, but didn't turn out the way. So MJF had Jericho picked him up and horsed him. He was going to throw him until MJF said he was going to throw him out. And next thing you know, Sammy Guevara saved Jericho and said that the Inner Circle surrender. It was that. So thus, the Pinnacle wins. And then two, I told you on the last video that the Pinnacle was going to win some way, somehow. And they did so. MJF felt satisfied with the win. And then he was being that, you know what? He threw Jericho through the little pad, landed. Jericho fell out. Thus, this feud, this rivalry may not be, the Pinnacle may won the war, but the battle is now over between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. Good match for that setting. It lived up to his expectations. The right team won because the Pinnacle needed that win because they're the newly established group. The Inner Circle has been established since the AEW since day one. So the Pinnacle needed that win so bad. And MJF won for his team as his captain. I thought it would have been Sammy the other way around, but it wasn't Sammy. So you know how that go. All right. All right. We're into a lot of matches for Double or Nothing. We'll make an announcement. You know, when AEW makes that announcement, we'll review it and we'll go from there. So that ends the AEW ring report. let's quickly move to hot topics. On hot topics this week, well, we found out Nature Boy Ric Flair paying it forward. He went to Chicago and visit his best friend, former Four Horsemen, Mongo McMichael. Many of you may be recalled that Mongo McMichael has announced that he is battling with ALS. ALS is Lou Gehrig disease. Mongo said that he doesn't have the ability to write write his signature no more. It's sad to hear that. Mongo McMichael, we hope we hope everything was, for a recovery or something, because they said it's irreversible. But Mongo McMichael, with his great spirit, doesn't want to be in the public no more. I understand, but praying for you. I'm gonna pray for you much I can, and hopefully things work out for him. Ric Flair doing a good deed, coming and visit his friend Mongo McMichael at his worst time. Also, this picture right here, um, Mr. Spectacular, Jesse Gala, the OVW national champion, and Luscious Lawrence from OVW, they was doing a press me around, and all of a sudden they was sitting in with I forgot what's Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell, U.S. Senator. Now, Mitch McConnell not liked by a lot of liberals, and I guess Jesse Gallers and Mr. Mr. Luscious Lawrence decided to get a photo op with what's his name, Mitch McConnell. I think Mitch McConnell was so intrigued and so happy to see them more than he was happy to see. Mitch McConnell said, "They wrestlers. I ain't no wrestler. They know a thing or two about heat. I don't know nothing about no heat." All Mitch McConnell know is, hey, just get me to where I need to be. Get me to what I need to do, and hey, give me some heat. And speaking of that, let's hopefully I got the picture. Now this ain't the picture just from the NXT. We didn't want that. But we want to know that Mr. Spectacular follows the channel. Well, he doesn't follow the channel. He follows the Twitter. He just follows us on Twitter. And let's see Mr. Spectacular right here. Mr. Spectacular follow us on Twitter. So Jesse God is saying, hey, thank you, Mr. Spectacular, for following us on Twitter. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now keep watching. We're dedicated to wrestling too. So we're gonna do that. So Miss Spectacular doing a follow up with fellow heel Mitch McConnell. And a lot of people are anxiously waiting to see what this Throwback Smackdown is going to be for next week. We talk about Throwback Smackdown coming this Friday on Fox, and Fox want to go retro, and a lot of people are asking WWE to bring back the SmackDown sign or SmackDown set with the fist. So only time will tell on that if they're gonna bring that fist back or some. It'll be cool, but we'll see this Friday. We'll have a review on that. On predict the outcome. Well, not predict, but SmackDown ring report for Friday or this weekend. And Darren Young will be a part of the WWE Untold Nexus, and you can see right here he's bringing the New Japan, his jacket and the Nexus band. So looking forward to seeing that whenever that comes out. And, look for the Shawn Michaels and Diesel Untold about their story about becoming, friends and stuff. So you know how they go. But we found out tonight a lot of interesting stuff heading to AEW. We looking at, could we be seeing Orange Cassidy and Ken Omega battling for the AEW World Title? We had to see on that. And Miro next week will take on Darby Allin, with Miro finally win gold in AEW, especially the TNT title, and become the face of TNT. And then Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle surrender to MJF and the Pinnacle in the Blood and Guts match. So an eventful night on eventful Wednesday. So for me being Kendrick Dick says so long. Thank you all for watching this edition, and we'll see you this weekend for the Pro Wrestling Show, for SmackDown, and other news for the weekend edition. Thank you all for watching this edition. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long, and y'all have a good night.